started. So, okay, we have done 7 C's of communication, feature of communication, and process of communication, right? Feature of communication done. It's two-way communication, social activities, continuous process. It is universal and it may be formal or informal. Characteristics of communication done. Two or more person, exchange of ideas, mutual understanding. You got everything now? Direct and indirect communication. Got. It is not done yet, right?
That's done, ma'am. Characteristics of communication is done.
Done. Okay. 7 C's done. It's not too big topic. Communication receiver decoding. Now we'll come to know about barriers, hurdles in communication. What are the barriers in communication? This is very important topic for examination purpose, right? So we'll come to know about barrier hurdles in communication. What are the barriers in communication? Communication barriers are something that prevent us from correctly getting and accepting the message others use to communicate their information, thought, ideas. Some of the example of communication barriers are information overload, choosy perceptions, workplace gossip, semantics, gender, different, etc., etc., etc. So we'll come to know about all hurdles, about barriers and hurdles about communication. Psychological barriers. What is psychological barriers? Physical communication barrier, physiological barriers, language barriers, attitudinal barriers. These are related to your personality also, right? Personality, your language. Suppose she is from UP, she is from Bihar, she is from Bangalore, she is from Mumbai. Different people are there, so hurdles will be there also, right? So, what is psychological barriers? The psychological condition of the receiver will power how to message is received. Stress management is a significant personal skill that affects our interpersonal relationship. Getting my point? The psychological condition of the receiver will power how to message is received. It's all about understanding level. Stress management is a significant personal skills that affects our interpersonal relationship. Means if you are a normal personality, right? I'm not a normal personality. So whatever you are sending to me, will I take it professionally, personally, or in a perfect way? Is it true? No, no.
I will not take it in the
Because
right.
I'm not a normal person. Psychological barriers. For example, anger is a psychological barrier to communication. What is anger? Anger means your mood is not good right now, right? And you are sending a message to someone or to me, definitely your point will be irritating, right? When we are angry, it is simple to say things that we may afterward regret and also to misunderstand what others are saying. Understood? Anger is not good for any type of communication. Also, people with low self esteem may be less self assured and therefore may not feel comfortable communicating. If you are in anger position, you are angry with me right now. Should I talk to you? No.
No.
I will not be able to talk to you because your mood is not good to talk to me right now. You are not good. Your mood is very bad right now. So you can say anything to me. You can fight to me. You can argue to me with me. So this is a barrier of communication. Angry people cannot give a good message to calm people. Means I'm an angry person right now. I cannot help you in any way. I cannot talk to you in polite way. I will not give any good message to you. I will show my anger, and that will be bad effect of communication. That is barrier of communication. What barrier? Psychological barrier. Right? Got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Always be cool all time. So now physical barrier. What is physical barrier? Communication is usually easier over shorter distances as more communication channel are obtainable and less technology is obligatory, although modern technology after serve to decrease the crash of physical barrier. The advantages and disadvantages of each communication channel should be unspoken so that a suitable channel can be used to overcome the physical barrier. What are you understanding about this point? Physical communication barrier. What are you understanding about this point? Communication is usually easier over shorter. It if your
It means
communication
probably if we are face to face or closer in proximity, then the communication is easier.
easier. Why easier? Because you are face to face or your message is short to understand. More communicating. Channel are obtainable and less technology. If you are face to face now, so no need to take any technology to use, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Technology is also physical barrier. We are not face to face right now, right? And network problem is there. What is there? Physical barrier. Physical barrier. Physical barrier is this. My network is not problem. My laptop is hanged. So what is this? This is physical barrier. And if we are talking to each other face to face, that is good for a powerful communication. But is this good communication, good physical communication? That my laptop is not working, my phone is hang, my network is hang. So is this good physical barrier, physical communication?
No, it's a bad.
Because it is stucking, it is stucking somewhere. So physical barrier is like any type of, you can say, obstacle, obstacle in barrier, physical barrier. Laptop, phone, whatever is the distance is matter, right? Distance is also related to physical barrier. Psychological, physiological barrier, it is very important. Learn it carefully. Physiological barrier may affect the receiver physical condition. Physical, if you are not fit, for example, a receiver with condensed hearing may not grab the sum of spoken conversation, especially if there is significant surrounding noise. Suppose I cannot hear you properly. That will be physiological barrier. I have physical problem, no? So that is physiological barrier. And or I am talking to you on phone and much noise is there. So I cannot hear your voice properly. That is physiological barrier. Language barrier. Language barrier is most important of barriers. Language barrier what? Language and linguistic aptitude may act as a barrier to communication. Suppose you are working in office, any office. Suppose you are in Maharashtra or you are in Bangalore. So what will be what will be the point of barrier? What is barrier there? Language is barrier because you are not South Indian and you are not able to understand their language. And they use South Indian language, 99% they use South Indian language or in English. So, can you understand the South Indian language in South India? Can you make them understand in your way? No, because you cannot speak in South Indian language and they cannot understand your language. So, what is there? Language barrier is there. Suppose you are in Maharashtra and you cannot speak in Marathi language and they cannot speak in Hindi language, and you have to make them understand about something. So, how will you do that? So, what is there? What is there? Language
Language
barrier.
barrier.
Yes, language barrier is there. You cannot do anything with language, na? And you cannot learn every language, right? So, language barrier is very important of this part. Language barrier, hurdles of communication. Language barrier, uh, most of the time, language barrier uh, you can face in different area like Mumbai, Maharashtra, Bangalore, Goa, or different area. So it is a side effect of your work, right? Language barrier is very difficult, very difficult. You cannot right now. Oh, okay. Why we have divided two part of the classes, Hindi or English? Some people cannot learn in Hindi, cannot understand in Hindi, like because they are from Maharashtra, they are from Bangalore or different state, and some people are very friendly to English, like South Indian people, or I don't know who speaks in English. So these are language barriers. That's why we have divided two part of the classes, Hindi or English. So, got my point? What is language barrier? Language barrier?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll learn about attitudinal barrier. This is also very important because this is related to our personality, personal personality. Attitudinal barrier are perceptions that stop people from communicating well. Suppose I'm very proudy. I'm very proudy. I don't give any good vibration to anyone. People understand like that she's very proudy girl. She's very proudy. She's very proud. She doesn't speak in well manner. She doesn't speak politely. So what comes from my personality? What comes?
Negative.
No,
Negative.
attitude, attitude, attitude. My attitude. They'll say she has attitude. No. So attitudinal barrier to communication may affect from poor management, personality, conflict, and battle to change, or a lack of motivation. This time I'm motivating you to boost your personality, not for examination purpose, but for your whole life, for powerful communication, or for bright future, for assistant professor or professor, whatever you want to become, right? So communication is the only thing which you have to take till end for your bright future. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is very important to be polite because everything matters in your personality to be a part of powerful personality or part of powerful assistant professor or whatever you want to become, right? So personality attitude matters. Active receivers of message should challenge to overcome their attitudinal barriers to assist effective communication. I've said I've said attitude is important, but positive attitude. Positive attitude should be there in your personality to become a powerful personality, right? Positive personality. So next, types of communication. These are important parts of types of communication, and it will be coming in your examination. When is your exam? Net exam?
December, ma'am.
December. So types of communication is important part of communication. How many communication are there? Verbal communication. Verbal what? We are talking to each other right now. This is verbal communication. Non-verbal communication. Symbols. Written communication. Letters. Fax. Mail. Visual communication. Mass communication. Interpersonal. Intrapersonal communication. These are there to understand. Verbal communication. What is verbal communication? Verbal communication encompasses all communication using spoken words. Uh, Wait for a minute. Thanks. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. Media, can you listen? Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So verbal communication encompasses all communication. Verbal communication encompasses all communication. All communication is related to verbal communication using spoken words, unspoken words. As in the case with sign language, it is important to understand how to effectively communicate your ideas verbally. Can you give me lots of messages without spoken?
No.
No, it's not possible. So powerful is verbal communication. You can say anything verbally, but you cannot say everything silently. My university call. Wait a second. Okay, sorry guys. So what will be what is important? Verbal communication. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Verbal communication is important part and very, very important for communicating, lots of communication, lots of messages, lots of ideas, lots of thoughts related to verbal communication. It is important part of all communication. Right. Know your audience response in the best way and use an appropriate tone when speaking. Speaking is good for communication, or like silent is good for communication. What is important?
Speech.
Speech.
Speaking.
Right. So speech can develop your personality also. Right. Keep speaking with your friends, your family. So non-verbal communication barrier. What? Non-verbal communication involves passive communication through the use of gestures, tone, voice, body language, facial expressions to share your thoughts and feelings. You can even communicate non-verbally by the way you dress. By the dress, you can express your feelings. Like, suppose you are going to attend a marriage. So, what will you wear? What will you like to wear to show your uh, personality? And girls are very different in this matter. So, what will you wear in marriage?
Bridal. Bridal attire.
Sari, lehenga, whatever you want. You will wear more and more, and you will like put some bindi, lipstick, different things to show your, to express your personality, right? And suppose you are going to funeral. So what will you wear?
I dress.
White dress or peaceful dress to show your condolence, right? Because both are different situation. So your dress says anything about your feelings. You got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes,
Dress,
ma'am.
dress matters. Dress matters, right? Non-verbal communication. You don't have to say anything verbally after dressing. You dressed well according to the situation, according to the occasion. You don't have to say anything. Your dress says everything. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is non-verbal communication. You don't have to say anything, but your dress is speaking well, right? So non-verbal communication often support or adds to verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is totally different from verbal communication. For example, the tone of your voice and your postures can reveal your mood or emotions to those around you. Non-verbal communication can be effective, but you have to express your postures, your gestures, your body language, and all. But verbal communication, your tone is everything, your way of speaking is everything. So, different between each other, verbal and non-verbal communication. Types of communication, written communication. This is very important, and it basically it used in business, offices, right? Written communication includes communication through writing, typing, or printing. Printing is also written communication. It is done through channels such as letters, text, message. WhatsApp, what is WhatsApp? Written
Text.
communication,
Written.
right? Email, written communication. Social media and books. Social media means what? Facebook, Instagram, all are written communication, right? Business may prefer written communication because it has fewer chances of distortion. For example, communicating a business plan in writing ensure that everyone gets the same message and can refers to it anytime in the future. Written communication is a proof. to keep with you. Like written communication, you are working in office and somebody has spoiled the things and the atmosphere. So what he will get from the office? Memo. Memo, right?
Yes,
Anyone
ma'am.
know about memo?
Yes,
Memo.
ma'am.
Memo is mild threatening or warning from the office to employee, right? To be careful about your job, right? So that is written communication, and that is proof to make him or her understand for whole day or for the whole life. That is written communication. Written communication, in written communication, you can keep the proof with you, right? You can keep the proof with you. Verbally, suppose you are using abuse language to his or her to some with someone, there is no proof. Can you keep that proof verbally? Whatever you have used bad language in front of someone, can you keep the proof? No. But in
Unless we record, but if we don't record, we don't
record,
have
but
a proof.
no, nobody records. That is different thing. That is a different thing. But here we are talking about written communication, verbal and non-verbal communication. So you cannot keep your proof in verbal communication, right? But in written communication, you can keep the proof, black and white, right? Black and white proof. Suppose you are giving 50,000 rupees to your friend or to your neighbor or whoever. So you have to what? You have to do written communication. Take written receipt or give written receipt to keep with you for proof, right? I have given 50,000 rupees to you and you have to return after some time, after some days, some month or year. This is the proof I have given to you 50,000 rupees. But without written, you have given 50,000 rupees to your friend or anybody. So there is no proof. She'll not return, and you cannot do anything in that case because you don't have any proof that you have given 50,000 rupees to her. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, ma'am.
This is personal example to make you understand. So this is written communication and this is very powerful communication. And Pradhan Mantri Modi, CM Yogi, and in leadership, written communication is everything, right? Written communication is very important part of life, discipline life. Okay. Now we'll know about visual communication. This is related to our mass communication, and my background is mass communication. Now, visual communication what? Visual communication uses graphs, charts, photographs, maps, logos, shares information. It is mostly used in combination with verbal or written communication in order to simply the information. Visual communication what? Visual means graphs, charts, posters, photographs, maps. Maps what? You are going somewhere, you and you don't know the where to go. What will you do? Your map will be there to show you the right way to reach there. Maps in your mobile, that will be very helpful to show the right path to take your destination, to reach your destination. So, and logos, what logos? Suppose uh phone is there and Apple is there. What will you understand? This is iPhone.
Yeah.
This is iPhone. How could you understand that this is iPhone? By the
Logo.
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 Logo. Reliance, Apple, HP, whatever logo is there, you can easily understand which company is this by the logo. Right? Logo is important part of visual communication. You can see only. You cannot speak with that. You can see. Logo is there to understand about the company. Right? So, logo is biggest part itself to share the information about the particular company, right? It is mostly used in combination with verbal or written communication. Suppose verbal or written what? Verbal is logo itself, and written what? iPhone, iPhone 15 is going to launch. Written is there, written is there with logo of iPhone. iPhone 15 is going to launch. What will you understand? This is the combination of
Written and visual.
verbal and written communication, right? In order to simplify the information. For example, using slides and flow charts during a presentation. What I am doing right now, I am presenting my slides. Makes it easier for the audience to grasp complex data. What I am doing right now, I am sharing my PPT to you, right? Presentation. So, is this easier to understand or not?
Yes, ma'am, it's easier.
Definitely, this is easier to understand and to grasp the data or to knowledge. So, now we'll talk about interpersonal and intrapersonal communication. This is also a very important part of communication. Intrapersonal can be defined as communication with oneself, and that may include self talk, act of information, imagination, and visualization, and even recall. Example are thinking to oneself will do better next time after memory. What are you understanding about intrapersonal? Sometimes intrapersonal is dangerous to us because suppose I am sitting alone in my room and I'm talking to myself, right? And sudden my friend has come, enter into the room. And what she'll understand about me? Is
She'll
she
think you're,
she'll
she'll think you're mad.
she'll think like, is she mad? She's not at her mind. What she is doing? Who talks with herself or himself? Nobody can. But what intrapersonal says, communication can be defined as communication with oneself, and that may include self-talk, act of imagination. That time she has understood that I'm a mad, but I am imagining something. I have gone there, I have seen this, I'm doing this. Next time I'll do this, I'll do this. I'm talking with myself. It doesn't mean I'm a mad. Might be I'm imagining something, and in imagination maybe I'm visualizing something, maybe I'm dreaming in open eyes. So anything can be there. Both are right. She's mad, or she is imagining something, or she is visualizing something in open eyes. And even recall, might be I'm recalling some memories and all. Anything can be there, right? Examples are thinking to oneself will do better next time after memory. Suppose I have participated in marathon, right? And I was not a winner. I've lost my what? My medal. So suppose I'm thinking like I was running like this, she was behind me. Sudden she has come and she won the match. But next time definitely I'll do better. I'm thinking like this. Intrapersonal. I'm talking to myself to do better next time. It can be also happen there. Am I right or not? Imagination. I will do better next time. I'll do better next time. I'm doing with myself. I'm talking to myself. I'm promising to myself. Next time I'll do better and better and better. That can be also there, na? Intrapersonal.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. You got my point, everyone?
Yes,
See,
ma'am.
I'm teaching you with examples, personal examples. So you'll get definitely easily. So now we'll come to interpersonal. Intrapersonal is self, and now we'll come to know about interpersonal. Communication involves the information, ideas, and feelings being exchanged verbally or non-verbally between two or more people. Face-to-face communication often involves hearing, seeing, and feeling, body language, facial expressions, and gestures. Interpersonal is what? Interpersonal is communication, actual communication. I have said, I've said in first class, communication is exchanging information, ideas, feelings, and many things. That is communication. And interpersonal is also like that. Communication involves the information, ideas, and feelings being exchanged verbally or non-verbally. Slightly changes is there in interpersonal communication. Verbally and non-verbally means the combination of verbal and non-verbal communication is interpersonal communication. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I want a recap in 2 minutes what I have taught today. Who will come? Who will come to describe in 2 minutes? Then we'll finish the class. It's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, we started with barriers of communication or hurdles in communication. We went through psychological, physical, physiological, language, and attitudinal barriers. In psychological barriers, we said that the condition of the receiver is the primary reason how the message is received. It's the basis on which the message is received. For example, you spoke about how anger becomes a psychological barrier to communication. When we are angry, we do not take the message in the same way as when we are not angry. So that
Correct.
was a psychological barrier. And physical barrier, it relates to the distance that we are in. If we are in close proximity, then the communication channel is clear and we can communicate better. And when there is use of technology, also times it becomes a barrier because we might not get connected and the communication wouldn't be easy. And then we went on to the physiological barriers, and we said that the condition of the receiver, the physical condition of the receiver, plays an important role. If he is not able to hear the message properly, then probably the communication wouldn't be clear because of the surrounding noise or because of his hearing capability, whatever.
Right.
So that's the physiological barrier. And language barrier is if the sender and receiver of the message do not follow the same language, do not understand the same language, then also it becomes a barrier. Attitudinal barrier is when we have an indifferent attitude also, it becomes a barrier. Like we have a lot of ego and we feel too great about our own self, then the other person wouldn't feel comfortable to communicate with us.
Right.
And these are the barriers of communication. And then we went on to the types of communication, where you spoke about verbal, non-verbal, written, visual, interpersonal, and intrapersonal communication.
Right.
In verbal communication, we said that it includes all kinds of communication, kind of the spoken words, unspoken words, and also the sign language. But verbal communication mostly emphasizes on communicating the ideas verbally, basically to avoid the misunderstandings that we have. And non-verbal communication is basically using gestures, body language, facial expressions, such things to communicate the thoughts and feelings. And you gave the example of the attire that we wear for a wedding versus the attire that we wear for a funeral. So that shows that speaks a lot about our the kind of thoughts that we have in our mind. Written communication is a formal way where we are trying to put everything in writing, be it typing, writing, or printing. Whatever we put in written is called as written communication. The examples were letters, text messages, email, social media, books, and all these are examples of written communication. And when we do a written communication, there are very few chances of the message being distorted. Visual communication is the communication done with the help of graphs, charts, maps, logos, photographs, such things. And it becomes more interesting to use visual data or kind of visual communication to present certain things. And then on to interpersonal and intrapersonal. Intrapersonal is the communication which we do with our own self-talk. So if we have certain ideas and thoughts in the brain, if we are talking to our own self, that's called as intrapersonal. And then interpersonal involves a communication that we do with the others. We are sharing our ideas, feelings, and everything with the other. There are two or more people here. And it could be face to face, or it could be here. Can it be other types also, like we are communicating online? So that is also interpersonal, right, ma'am?
Written and verbal, non-verbal, right? All is
Yeah.
mixture of
Yeah,
mixture.
face-to-face communication that involves usually hearing, seeing, and understanding the body language of the other person.
Great. Very good, dear. Very good.
Thank you.
No need to learn more and more. You have learned everything on the spot. Okay. Now we'll finish the class. Come for prayer. Anyone? Who is coming for prayer?
Pray with
Yeah.
your head, neck, and spine erect. Adopt Namaskara Mudra and gently close your eyes. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you, open your eyes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Take care.
Thank you.